you see right now?
Nothing now.
Is everybody ready?
He was the center on the football team, and finally he got up enough nerve to ask me out. After a week, we just knew that we were right for each other.
That was a very special time.
We got married May 31st, 1969. Chip came 13 months after we were married.
I was very nearsighted and had astigmatism. Gradually the glasses got a little thicker. Then the vision kind of started closing in on me. Finally, at the age of 33, I made an appointment at Duke Eye Center. After 3 days, the doctor had Jerry and I come into his office.
And he told Larry, well, you have an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. It's a hereditary disease.
He said it's a deterioration of the cells in the retina, and we just really don't know what causes it. There's no cure. Eventually, you'll go blind. You'll lose your sight completely. Jerry and I were stunned.
He just is joyful and kind and patient and every good thing. We had to hold his hand going places, but I mean, he never let the blindness stop him from doing anything.
3 years after being diagnosed with RP, I did lose my sight completely. Jerry's big, beautiful blue eyes, and the children's faces and their smiles, those are treasures that are etched in my memory, and I'll never forget them.
For 30 years, not only for his disease, but for so many other diseases, as an eye doctor, all we could tell patients is you're going to lose vision and there's nothing we can do about it. I'm always the type of person who is interested in experimenting with new technology.
Little did I know that there would be an incredible medical breakthrough in the technology that would be able to help me.
This device is called the Argus 2 retinal prosthesis. People refer to it as the bionic eye. So around 25 years ago, Mark Humayun, who is the inventor of this device, was a resident here at Duke. And as soon as it became FDA approved, I contacted the company. It's gratifying to bring this full circle, to bring it back to Duke where it all began, and to have someone like Larry receive this.
So 33 years later, we're back at the Duke Eye Center.
I don't even know if I have the words to describe what I felt in my heart for him, such love, such happiness for him that he could have a second chance.
Before the surgery, we have to make sure that he's really eligible. And one of the biggest criteria in my mind is for him to have realistic expectations. And that is that he must know that this device isn't going to allow him to read or to drive again, but it gives him flashes of lights that provide visual stimulation, that provide some level of visual connectivity.
The surgery was planned on September 10th. I was the first one in North Carolina.
It involves placing part of the implant around the eye, underneath the skin of the eye, and then placing the array through the eyeball, inside the eyeball, and then tacking it to the retinal surface. It's technically challenging. There are a lot of unfamiliar steps. There was a period of 2 weeks after the surgery that we waited to turn the device on, and that's just to let things heal. And during those 2 weeks was when I really started to get nervous. Three, 2, 1, start stimulation. When I was doing that countdown, I just had to take a breath for myself. I wasn't sure if this was going to work.
A few seconds went by, and I thought, oh, what's going to happen? This huge flash of light came, and it was so bright and intense that I literally my head snapped back.
It was like wham!
Yes.
Can you see, Larry?
Oh my
Can I give him a kiss?
I have a big grin in my face. It's a moment I'll never forget. It was incredible.
That moment changed my life. This device is all about light and dark contrast, high resolutions of light.
And the way it works is Larry will wear a pair of eyeglasses. Those eyeglasses have a camera that's in the nasal bridge. Larry looks around and picks up a scene. That scene is then sent to a little computer about the size of 2 decks of cards that he'll wear on his belt, and that computer processes that image and converts it to something that his eye and brain can understand. That computer then sends that signal wirelessly to the part of the device that's surgically implanted. And that surgically implanted device wirelessly picks up that signal and stimulates the retina.
I'm an occupational therapist with the vision rehab team at Duke, and my role with Larry is to help him learn how to use this new tool that he has. The information he perceives is light. It's not specific objects. It's not detail. He has to learn how to apply that to whatever it is he's seeing. When he is looking at light surface, for example, a white plate, that will flash. If his goal is to set that down on the placemat that's a dark color, he'll see a dark surface and he'll know that's where he puts his plate.
Very good. Very good.
For the first time in years and years and years, I can go around at night and cut off the lights because I know they're on.
For Larry to be able to gain that amount of vision is actually quite profound.
Maybe one of the first nights we were home, I turned away from the TV, and Jerry was sitting in this big brown chair. For the very first time, I leaned over. I could see the outline of her face, and I reached over and put my hand on her cheek very gently. I mean, I can see your forehead and your chin. Everything is flashing around it.
That's really cool.
It really is.
And it brought tears to my eyes. It was such a sweet and tender moment.
Hey! I had the opportunity to do that with my son, my daughter, and my 4 granddaughters. I held their little cheeks. I held them just like that. Oh my. Flashing, flashing, flashing. Your complexion just works perfectly for my glasses, and I just love it.
It was precious for him to see my girls.
It's such a moment that you can't describe. I can't find words to tell you how intimate that is, and that's when I realized I'd received a gift, and I don't know how to express how thankful I am for that.
This was really a team effort, and I'm so proud to be part of the Duke Eye Center team and really the larger Duke team.
They're our cheerleaders. I didn't know that physicians, nurses, technicians in a hospital could be that way, but they genuinely cared. It mattered to them that Larry was seeing.
I feel great to come in every day. We know we're doing that job to help that patient, and we're happy that we see that patient getting better.
Larry used to say, they'll find a cure, they'll find something, but it won't be in my lifetime. Now we know it is, which is thrilling.
Larry Hester has an amazing story, but the Larry Hester story and the Argus 2 story is just the beginning. For the future, we hope for better resolution, for better technology, just like any other technology is bound to improve. And Duke remains dedicated to being at the forefront of all of these technologies. And I'm lucky to be part of it.